is it that you want? What do you want the world to do?
Well, I don't represent the alt-right in any way, shape or form, but the larger battle here, the thing that I fight for on American college campuses, is the right to be, do, and say whatever you want. It's about freedom of expression, the First Amendment, which is something that's under threat in this country like perhaps never before. It's under threat in Hollywood, in the media, on college campuses. There are an extraordinary variety of places, both state-sponsored and otherwise, in which people are not free to express themselves, to use the language they want to use, to argue about things without being called sexists, racists, and bigots and various other things. So what I try to do is be provocative and entertaining and blow open the fire doors, if you like, so other people feel a little bit more brave, a little bit emboldened to discuss their points of view in freer language than they would otherwise feel able to do.
You have been under siege lately, and you may be comfortable being under siege. I'm not sure, because you are provocative.
It's my natural disposition. It's my home environment.
It is your home environment. The most serious charge had to do with the aspect of pedophilia, that you seem to have approved it. I know you try to clarify it wherever it goes, but a lot of people just condemn you for that and don't listen to anything else you have to say. What do you have to say to that?
Well, the people who don't listen to me didn't listen to that either, and they're determined not to listen to anything I say. I make a lot of nuanced arguments. I drop a lot of unsayable truths, if you like. That particular issue, I was talking about my own experiences, and something did tumble out of my mouth that I didn't intend, which I apologize for. But in no universe am I a supporter of that kind of thing. I'm actually a victim of it, which is what I was trying to explain on that late night booze-fueled podcast, which I think a couple of people got upset about because they sort of wrenched a few things from context. And there was one sentence that tumbled out my mouth I didn't mean.
Are there many things that come out of your mouth and then later you say, well, I could have said it differently?
No, only that one. I've never apologized for anything before or since, and I hope never to apologize again in the rest of my entire career. I only apologize when I say things that I don't mean. I apologize when something comes out of my mouth that I don't intend, that leaves people with an impression that I didn't deliberately put there. And that's only happened once.
Milo, this is nothing new what you're doing. It's been around where the discourse, you can say things and be banned from college campuses. I remember back when I was in school, it went on. But now the public discourse has really gone so low. There seems to be no civility because of what's said on social media. And you seem to just hit the things that will get reaction. Maybe nothing more. Isn't that really what you're doing?
No, I think the answer is twofold. One is that I exist in the tradition of the British polemic, which is an initial outrageous provocation, but followed by facts, by humor, by persuasiveness, something that makes you first of all angry, but then entertained, amused, engaged, and thoughtful afterwards. And that's what I hope that everybody leaves my shows feeling, is that they were initially, what is going on here, and then at the end of the show that they leave saying, well, I didn't agree with anything, but there was some really interesting stuff in there, and my goodness, it was funny. So that's the thing that I like to do. But I think Americans are a little sick of niceness and political correctness. I think that, tiptoeing around one another has gone on a little bit too long. And actually, Americans very clearly voted in the last election for somebody who wasn't stereotypically nice. I think that discourse could do with a bit of shaking up. I don't think it's the case that there's this general trajectory downwards into the gutter. I think the opposite's the problem. I think people have become so nice and so elaborately polite and so politically correct to one another that nobody says what they really mean to each other anymore, which is why when people come along, like me or Trump, we develop huge fan bases almost overnight.
Milo, I'm kind of interested in this. A lot of people who follow you, and I know you disassociate yourself from the alt-right, but
yes,
a lot of your biggest fans are in the alt-right. And yet there is this strange disconnect. As a gay male, a lot of people in the alt-right hate gay males. So how do you deal with that?
Well, I'm not just that. I'm a gay Jew with a black fiance. So attempting to crown me queen of this white supremacist movement is a bit of a stretch. I think, I have a very, very broad fan base. Clearly, the term alt-right used to mean something very different from what it means now. When I wrote what is probably the most influential piece of political journalism of 2016, An Establishment Conservative's Guide to the Alt-Right for Breitbart, I tried to define the movement very broadly, and it included basically all Trump voters. It's since become redefined as racists, neo-Nazis, and white supremacists. And for those people, I have nothing to offer them, and they have nothing to offer me. And I repeatedly in my college talks talk about how white power and white supremacy and white nationalism is not the answer.
Steve Bannon, who was your boss at Breitbart, is out of the White House, but he's on fire. Yes. And apparently the two of you are getting together again.
I had coffee with Uncle Steve,
Uncle Steve.
That was Uncle Steve, and that was fun. And he will be speaking at Berkeley Free Speech Week, which is the big sort of spectacular that I have planned for 4 days between September 24th and 27th at UC Berkeley. Ann Coulter will be there as well, a bunch of other conservative and libertarian favorites. And then I intend to take as many of those people as I can with me on my new Troll Academy tour, which starts in October.
All right, and will you be disappointed if people are not upset?
I don't think that's a realistic proposition, so I don't think I have to worry about it. I think people are always going to be upset.
But Milo, the more upset they get, the more money you guys make. You're going on a tour, so, you know, that's what this is about, isn't it?
I don't mind, you know, the tears of snowflakes heating my pool. I don't lose any sleep over that. But I think that the more important question is, you know, what America really needs to do to solve its free speech problem is to make Milo Yiannopoulos redundant, right? So long as I'm still upsetting people merely for expressing normal, reasonable, mainstream conservative points of view, just doing so with humor and provocation and upsetting people you're not supposed to upset these days, so long as that is an outrageous thing to do in American public life, I will still be necessary. And the good that I do for the First Amendment is far outweigh to any, you know, cynical pleasure I might get from upset snowflakes.
There we go. Milo Yiannopoulos, thank you very much. By the way, redundant in Britain means out of work, and a lot of people would like to see you redundant. Milo, thank you for being with us. Appreciate it.
We will make America great again.